front.
This is a special day for a great city and a great ship. HMAS Parramatta, commissioned in 2003, bears the oldest name in the Royal Australian Navy, and it is therefore well matched to the historic early role of the City of Parramatta, founded within months of the First Fleet arrival at Sydney Cove. Today, the city welcomes the crew of Parramatta onto our streets, and we are proud to celebrate the ship's company taking up the right of freedom of entry to our city. And today, we honour the long and special relationship between Parramatta the ship and Parramatta the city. Our special relationship reaches back to when the first Parramatta sailed through Sydney Heads in 1913 as the firstborn of Australian Navy. That ship served in the Mediterranean with distinction at World War I and was retired in 1928. Parramatta 2 was commissioned in 1940 and was soon patrolling and minesweeping in the Red Sea. Then later in the Mediterranean off the coast of Libya, one night in November 1941. Parramatta was torpedoed and it sank so fast that the commanding officer and 137 of his men were lost. This tragedy is fixed in the memory of Parramatta, just as our memorial at Queen's Wharf Park is a permanent reminder of those lost at sea. Parramatta 3 took the name of our city to serve in Vietnam, China and Bali from 1961 to 1991. And in 2003, the company of newly commissioned Parramatta made history when they exercised the right of freedom of entry into our city. Today, the city welcomes the crew of Parramatta onto our streets, and we are proud to celebrate the ship's company taking up the right of freedom of entry to our city.
Authority is granted. Your right and privilege is acknowledged. Pass HMAS Parramatta.
HMAS Parramatta will advance in column of route. Quick!
On behalf of the people of Parramatta, I welcome Commander Robertson and the men and women to our city.
On behalf of the officers and ships company of HMAS Parramatta, please let me begin by thanking you and for inviting and granting the ship to the right to exercise freedom of entry to the city of Parramatta. Commissioned a little over 6 years ago, our ship, HMAS Parramatta 4, is still young in ship terms. However, our story is already becoming a rich one, with the ship recently returning from her third deployment to the Middle East, where we conducted counter-terrorist and counter-piracy operations. Why is this relationship with this great city so important? Well, for us it's simple. It enriches the quality and the depth of our experience as sailors in HMAS Parramatta, and adds context to why we do what we do. Consequently, it makes for a closer and more effective group of young Australians who undertake some extraordinary missions, occasionally in harm's way. Our ties with the Parramatta community are broad and continue to surprise me with their breadth. I attended the Parramatta Defence Force Recruitment Centre on Monday to enlist 19 young men and women from this region. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the men and women of HMAS Parramatta again, thank you for hosting us today. It has been a great honour and a privilege, and may you have fair winds and following seas. Thank you.